right here because I just checked it this morning. And now what I've got to do is set the magnetic and get grease all over me first thing. That's what I got to do. Set the receiver onto the stick. Pretty much what I got. It might pick it up right here. This just it's magnetic, sticks to the boom. It's very, very strong magnets, and it's kind of a pain because I got to set it up high enough so when I'm digging it's shooting over the haul truck, so that puts it pretty high up, so I got to climb up on the thumb and get everything kind of lined up for where it goes and then just stick it on there. But the problem is if it's not exactly where it is, it's hard to move because, like I said, it adheres. So here we go. Where Tim wiped the grease gun off at. Right there on the top of the thumb where I put my hand. But I do the same thing. So. Well, that actually went really easy. So now that green light is showing grade and it's reading with the transit over there on the hill. So now pretty much I got my grade set. If I go to pick up a little bit, it'll tell me to go down. Like so, down a little more, hit the ground, grade. I just have to remember that every time the bucket's got to be sitting flat at 90 degrees. I love technology. Simple technology. Simple technology. Because before, like every 2 or 3 loads I was going to have to get out, well, I wasn't having to, I had to get out and check grade because I don't care how good you are, you go 100 feet, you're going to get off. You're not going to be able to. I've never been able to maintain it a steady grade. Not on an excavator. A bulldozer, yeah, because you're kind of sitting at the same level, but I'm sitting 6 feet higher. It's kind of hard to eyeball the same grade. I'm going to load out some of this topsoil and my truck driver should be here by then. Let's go haul our first load of topsoil. Now I'll kind of explain what we're going to do today. Got probably 2 or 3 more loads of this left. It exposed the clay I'm digging. You can see right here where it starts to notch down a foot for the second building pad. Got Tim working on grading that out right there. That got a little put in a little high. We were just kind of eyeballing it yesterday, and it needs to go down. Well, from the right of him, that needs to go down about a foot. Like I said, very short distance to haul. The clay topsoil's a little farther. What I want to do is get all this area right here on grade with my dirt that I need, because that's kind of critical that I have the good dirt for that. And then down here I can waste a lot of junky dirt tying these slopes back in and drain it down to the ditch. So I kind of made me a little shortcut right here down the pile of dirt. And what I've got to do, I gotta look at the prints, but I've got to come in here and cut some of this topsoil out. This should be the back edge of the pond dam. The retention pond's going right here. So pretty much what I have to do is haul dirt down here and build the pond. This probably won't get dug out much. It'll just be dammed up around it to form a pond. Pretty much we're building a hole in a low spot. So I'm taking this topsoil, and I had that stake that I showed you yesterday, the one I was looking for, that is marking the outer limits of the pond. and I'm probably about to bury it, but that's okay. It was just for reference at the time anyways. Let's see, is it gonna bury it? Maybe I can pull up a little bit and save the stake. Look at that. Professional dump truck driver extraordinaire. Anybody else would have ran over at least 10 trying to dump that load. So you can see how much fill's been put in. It looks like crap because that's all the topsoil piled up at the end, and we're just running it over about 10 feet or so, and I'll get up there with the dozer and blend all that in at the end. We got to add some more dirt to that because that's what's going to make the slope going down to the pond. But pretty much from that pink stake right there to probably that big tree across from the road, all that is put in and compacted and lifts and everything for future expansion of this place. They'll have enough room to put in 2 more units and still have the road around. So that's the purpose of cutting all this dirt down, is to, it's called a site balance. You see, I cut 6 foot up there and had to put almost 11 down here. The way it worked out was we could notch it down into the hill, fill in the low area, take down the high section, and in return you get a grade in the middle. So yes, there's a hill over there, but instead of having to bring in, you know, if we didn't cut this down 6 feet, I would have to bring that in, end up an additional 6 feet, which would have put about a 17 foot of fill. And I think we're moving somewhere around 8,000 yards here, so that probably would have added it about 13,000 yards, and that gets expensive when you got to bring in that much dirt. So that was the whole idea of cutting the site down and using the dirt available to construct the area we needed. All right, time to load another load. So I kind of started cutting out the core, I guess you could call it, for the retention pond dam. The pond's going to be right here. It's going to come off that hillside, taper down into the pond. It's only about 20 feet wide here in the bottom, but it's got pretty gentle slopes. So I hauled all this topsoil over here this morning to start making the back slope, and now we've about got that level up there to where it needs to be. So I cut out right here where the layer of clay is going to go for the structure part of the dam. Threw all the topsoil on the back. We'll make our back slope out of that. I'm going to go up there and pull a ramp down so that the truck can back down here, and pretty much what we'll do is dump the clay down here and build it on up about 10 feet, but just tie it in from this dirt and then build it into the topsoil. And then next week when they come and stake out the pond, all I got to do is just fill in pretty much to the 4 interior stakes. So I'm going to go up here and pull this slope down and get it where he can back the dump truck down here, and we'll start filling this bad boy up, building a little pond dam here. I'm going to build a ramp down here now. You can see, well, I just covered it up. You could see my original stake. Maybe I can find it, but there it is. That was marking my 85 feet buffer off of the road, and that's pretty much top edge of dam. So this is pretty much going to be the slope. I'm not going to make it any wider than I have to until they survey it, because I'm kind of all guesstimating exactly where this is. So I don't have to move dirt again, but I want to have the pads ready for them to do the final survey on. So I feel like I can get it pretty close enough where all I got to do is tweak it within under a foot, you know, 6 inches or so either way. As far as the elevations on the pad, and I got it all cut down 6 inches from finished grade. So I shouldn't have a tremendous amount of dirt to move. I can probably do away with that stake right there. Since I just swiped over it, I need for it to stab into a truck tire. I just broke it in half. I'll bury it down here. I hate for that to go into a $4,000 truck tire. So I'll just keep this down and tracking it in. On this pond, it's not meant to really hold water, it's to retain water. So it doesn't really have to be that overly done. Pretty much all we need is a dirt berm around it to catch the water during a rain event, and then it'll drain down and stay dry. It's not supposed to hold any water other than during the rain event. So pretty much I can build a pond that leaks out the bottom or whatever. They want it to store the water during like I said, during the big rain, then slowly release it. Stormwater management, they call it. So I'll pull this down one time, and then he can run down here with the dozer, and the truck will be able to back down here fine and dandy. I'm starting to get into where they can pack it, so we'll see how hard that is. It's pretty hard. 250 won't even dig it. I was on that edge where they just kind of been pushing it over. Didn't really matter right there because all that is the slope of the pond, but we're getting where I'm digging now is going to be parking lot and roadway, so that was, glad that's packed good. Makes me happy. Still on the roller. Lay this down. Make a little better ramp. I can do it faster with that. Go commandeer that for a minute. Do a little blading. Do, and I will catch you. Hopefully not over backwards. So to make a little more sense up here now, that's what I just cut out. That's where the dam's gonna go, and then back around the back where that pile is. But you can kind of see how much fill we put in here now with the height. And this is pretty close to grade. It ain't perfect, but until we get done, ain't no need for it to sit here and try to fine grade it. It's just gonna get tore up. But pretty much all the dirt over there where his truck and the roller and everything was cut out, brought over here, and put in place. I'm gonna go over here and start loading the truck again to get our clay for the pond dam. So today we made it from the stakes right there at the roller to all this cut out, filled in, got the pond dug down, and started building the dam on that. Pretty much all I got is from this stake to that one right, where is it on camera? Somewhere right in there. So I'm gonna shut everything down for today. Got one load of topsoil I'm gonna go finish hauling. Tim's gonna roll all that in, and we are going to skedoodle on out of here. We got to load up the dozer, the roller, and the skid steer. I got a hay barn pad to go build tomorrow, and then we will be back here for Friday.